Hello, everyone. Yes, you are welcome to this live session. So, we've got an update for you guys. I felt I should share this with you. The president was speaking this other day when he had the opportunity to present Nigeria as a country to Germany for business purposes. He was talking about himself, as in the achievements that he has made throughout his lifetime, his impact in Lagos, how he helped Lagos to be what it is today, and all that. And it got to a point, he said he was supposed to be awarded with Guinness World Record, that he doesn't know why his name has not been enlisted there. And he thinks he could even find a way to sneak his name into that record. And you know what? Trust Obedience, they now gave him finally an award from Guinness World Record. You can see it. This one is coming directly from the Obedient family. They said, Mr. Man, since it is your desire to have one, here is it. We can afford to give you this award. So finally, you've seen that your president now has this certificate he has long desired. And guess what is written on this certificate? I don't know if you can see the image I have. It said certificate, the first certificate forger, and Baron requesting to be added to the Guinness World Records is illegitimate president. Bola Ahmed Amoda Adekunle Sangodele Ogunlere Tinubu. Nigerians, my God, this is it. So your president has finally gotten the certificate, this award he has long desired. He said he deserved giving this kind of award, going through his track record, considering what the impact he has made. And people didn't bother that he could even like sneak his name into the record in case people are not acknowledging his achievements in Lagos, Nigerians. And you know what? People have been lambasting him that what kind of track record is he talking about? Is it the hunger that Nigerians are going through, or is it the judiciary that we have currently seen what they are going through, what it is going through? I mean, as a body, what the judiciary has become today. Is it all the problems since he came into power that Nigeria has been facing? And he's talking about Guinness World Record. And Nigerians, they don't waste time when it comes to things like this. Honestly, they had to quickly get him this certificate that he has long desired. He said he deserves getting this certificate. And finally, the award has been given, and I hope that is going to bring that to rest. Honestly, for me, I think I will just say that sometimes these are our leaders. They are so insensitive that each time they talk about themselves, they talk about their achievements, they don't even tend to have any consciousness, as in they feel somehow as if all is well. They don't try to remember that Nigerians back home are going to listen to this kind of speech that he was talking, or the way he was like exalting himself as to how he has played his political role very well. He did this, he did that in Lagos, and that was why Nigerians voted for him. The question remains, he is the same person that came out to tell Nigerians, I know most of you did not vote for me. And now he's in Germany telling German people that this is why Nigerians voted for him, because they know his track record. Nigerians, he boasted about the subsidy remover, that he had the courage to remove subsidy, and without considering the consequence. He didn't even know that the way this subsidy was removed has plunged many Nigerians into suffering. I mean, people are really suffering, and this government is so insensitive about all this. So this is where we get it wrong as a country, when we elect leaders who lack empathy, who do not even try to, have some of the little feeling for on how the citizens are faring. They don't they are very far from the people. That is just my own insinuation. They are just far from the people they are leading. So you can imagine this kind of praise, the way he was praising himself. And anyway, he was trying to woo investors. But don't forget that people have been condemning the way this government is handling issues. People have been condemning the way they are not looking inward to fix some things that investors will look at. Because you don't just, it's not a matter of spending the little money we have, touring countries of the world, going to tell them that now you can bring in your money. He told them that come to Nigeria. If you invest your money at any time you want, you can take your money back. Forgetting that some of the foreign airlines are still complaining that their monies are being held back by Nigeria. And that's why most of them are no more plying, our route, because they find it difficult to cash out their money. So many things that this government is supposed to look into, to put things in place. Mr. Peter Obi was saying that it's like I don't know, there's a way he's tried to paint it that you don't even need to go and beg investors. There's a way you position your country. It will become so attractive that investors will be begging you. Do you know Nigeria is the most populous Black country in the entire world? So you can imagine those that have businesses that they feel the Black community want to consume will be looking at Nigeria first. Nigeria stands a very good, space to like gain so much investors from other places, not just Africa, I mean, the developed world. But today, investors, I listened to an analyst today, they were saying that, see, for some few years now, investors have just been running away out of Nigeria, packing out. People, not new ones are not coming. The old ones that have been there, they are just like as if something is pursuing them. They are running and leaving the country. And we expected this government when they came in for them to look at some of the things in case they don't even know how to be smart. If I were them, I'll go and look at some of the things that Peter Obi spoke about, so many intelligent things that Peter Obi said he was going to do. Most of his things, he says it openly. He doesn't even hide it. For those that said bring Peter Obi into the government to help. Peter Obi always make his own things, bare. But I know that they cannot get his kind of personality. But he has always mapped out things he was going to do. Do you know insecurity? One of the things they said they were going to do is to tackle insecurity headlong. That is going to be the first thing that they are going to do in Nigeria. And Peter Obi's Dati Ahmed, I mean his second, made a revelation. He said they were going to mount all kinds of, vigilance. I mean, when it comes to technology, they will use technology to ensure that no matter where you are and you are committing a crime, you will just be caught red-handed. You can't go free. That is one of the things that he said. I have a slide here where the Minister of Interior is lamenting on how the officials of the prison, the correctional center is conniving with some of the inmates to plan on terrorism. Nigerians, this is the latest news. Tell me which country want to hear this and who want to bring his or her money into Nigeria. We have this government that is supposed to look into issues like this and begin to, arrest them headlong, ensure we have a stable environment in terms of, security, things are working, and then you look at the economy, know why our naira is sliding, and you put in all your energy. But that they are not putting into consideration. They only tell us that they are traveling to go and woo investors to come into Nigeria. And the few investors that are currently in the country, most of them are, contemplating leaving. Some of them have gone to places like Ghana, even Togo that is close to us, and all these other countries that Nigeria is supposed to stand out for them to emulate. They are now the one getting some of these benefits because Nigeria is not a secured environment for people to just freely bring in their money, their hard-earned money. And you look at the way our government officials are wasting this money, you will be asking, is it that they don't know that people are laboring to make this money, and from there they will pay their taxes, and then they will just be spending it anyhow? So this is what we are saying when it comes to the leadership style of this current government. They just feel, oh, let's be traveling and be wasting the little money that we have, to go woo investors to come into Nigeria. Investors cannot just come in. They can't just come in without you doing some of your homework that you are supposed to do. And then investors will see Nigeria as a safe place to come in and invest. So there are a lot of reactions. Let me just take what this Madishewu said. Tinubu's wish for the Guinness Book of Records. He said his performance will see him listed in the Guinness Book. He was sleeping when his name was entered several times in red marker on account of CSU, multiple birth dates, alpha beta, government government college Lagos, FBI, identity theft, etc. Was he sleeping when someone entered his name in this other odd records? So he has his name there and he still wants his name to enter the Guinness record. So honestly, trust Nigerians. Since he made this statement, so many people have come after him. They are like, how dare you say you deserve this kind of award? For what? On what ground? For what reason? And I tell you, this government has got a lot to do to convince Nigerians that they really mean well for the people, because from the look of things, you see that these people, they are not here to serve the people. It's just their interest. Because looking at the way things are going, the Naira is not helping, as in they are not helping the Naira to regain itself. And then the little that we have, they are just traveling from here to there, telling us that they are going to woo investors. It's not going to be easy if they don't start looking inward to fix Nigeria. So that brings me to what the last news we heard about Baba Jide Sawolu on, mismanaging the resources of the state. So many Nigerians have equally gone to the websites of other government, state government, to see what is happening there, like that of Kogi State. You can see their own too. People have found so many things that is not supposed to be there. And one of them is how Kogi Governor Yaya Bello spent over 700 million to purchase just 2 vehicles for for assembly members without approval. 700 million that could set up a very good hospital for the state, or build some, school blocks for the children, or even give it to some of the state universities. And also, he used 950 million on meals, farewell packages. Nigerians, that is your nation for you. No doubt these people want to get into power at all costs. So this one is coming from Zamfara State. Zamfara State Governor Lawal, in 3 months, spent over 400 million on trips, traveling. This traveling, I don't know if you've listened to one video coming from the president of Gambia. Yeah, I think Gambia. This man said no more foreign travel. He was cautioning his members, his cabinet, people working with him. No more foreign travel. He said they were like trying to buy vehicles for him. He said the one that was left by the former regime, what happened to it? Is it not working? That is what he's going to use. It's only in Nigeria that every year, after every 4 years, they buy fresh fleets of cars without even telling us what happened to the previous one. Like in Lagos State now, they've given us how many, is it in millions or in billions, that they've spent in buying bulletproof vehicles without telling us what happened to the previous one. It was the same Babajide Sanwo-Olu that was there 4 years ago. Now he has assumed office again and bought fresh ones. So what happened to the previous ones, Nigerians? These are some of the questions we have to start asking. That's why we don't have, it's not just about, some people will tell you, oh, is tribe people. It's because it's not your tribe. My dear, this is Nigeria. It's our country. I am a proud Nigerian. Let's see how this country can be, rescued from the hand of these politicians. You can imagine, this is Zamfara State that we were told that they could not even pay WAEC fees for their students for 3 years. Is the government that pays that money for them to write WAEC. So for 3 good years, they couldn't pay for the students there in that state. So you can imagine, many of their girls must have been married off, and their boys may be struggling with unemployment, and some of them will end up joining the bad gangs and all that. And then the governor that was there before now has been promoted as the defense minister. Nigerians, it is in our hands to liberate this country. These people, they don't have conscience. They don't. If you are waiting for them to come and give you good governance, it's going to be difficult. Because for me, I look at it as if once they assume this position, they develop a kind of mindset that make them to be so self-centered. They just think about themselves, their immediate family, and anything that will just work in their own interest. For the fact that they are buying vehicles to assembly members, is it not people that will help them, will side them even when things are going wrong, people that will not condemn whatever wrong that they are doing? These are the people they are buying these vehicles for. So everything they are doing is just, all about self-interest, not in the interest of the people. You can imagine Kogi State is one of the states that has, high unemployment with so much youth, and they have so much natural resources. But look at the governor will use like 700 million naira to buy just 2 vehicles. The National Assembly is asking for 160 million for one. So 2 is supposed to cost 320. But now somebody used 700, that's times 2, to buy just 2 vehicles, not even for himself or as the governor, but for assembly members. So Nigerians, when we ask ourselves, why are we not moving forward like other countries? Leadership remains the biggest problem. And do you know what even, pisses me off is when I look at these people, they're already strategizing against 2027. That is how you get to know how heartless our leaders are. They are already planning, planting their people. Look at the APC now. They elected their members to serve as REC in INEC. People who are card-carrying members. They just want to position these people against. So we've not even concluded this last election. They are already making plans for the future ones. So you see that what we have is just leadership problem. And like I always say, power belongs to the people, Nigerians. We have to team up to liberate this country from all this mess. So like I referenced before, I was talking about the Minister of Interior. You could see that he had ordered a probe, probe of prison officers conniving with terrorist inmates to finance terror operation. Nigeria, the kind of news that comes out in this country will just marvel you. Can you imagine we have officials who are working with the bad people, and then the same thing, sometimes they will tell you that among the military, they have the bad eggs. Sometimes they will tell you that among the police, they have the bad eggs. And then now among the INEC, you have the all the parastatals, all the government bodies, all the institutions, a lot of rot. And that is one of the reasons why we wanted a real change. We needed people with integrity who will come to make changes, even if that change is going to affect them, affect their own, their own chances, even if it's going to work against them. But they want to do it for the progress of Nigeria. That is where we talk about people like Peter Obi, people like Dati Ahmed. These are people who, they are not coming into governance because they want to get money or they want to gather wealth. Recently, I saw on Twitter that just within the space of how many months that the sitting president has acquired how many oil wells, which I don't know if that is authentic, I must say. But I saw something like that on Twitter. So you can imagine people publishing such thing. And most times, informations like this, when you trace them, there are elements of truth. Who knows? But I couldn't verify that. So I can't just give it to you as a fact. But what I'm trying to say is that I don't know why our leaders are so self-centered. Each time something is going to go against their will, they want to stand against that thing, even if it's going to benefit the Nigerian people, just because they want to, achieve their own ambition, which is why we are suffering as a nation. We are suffering because we've got the bad people, the wrong persons in place of leadership. So, and currently, I heard that the president also is not available because he's having, I think, a knee injury. So maybe he's back from Germany, but he's not feeling too well. I'm trying to see if I have that image where it is stated about his health. Possibly it's not here. But so what I'm trying to say is that you can imagine the leadership gap that we are having. He was in Saudi Arabia and he came back. Before he even left for Germany, there was rumor that he went to France for medical checkup, though that wasn't officially published. And then he went to Germany. And then now that he's back from, I don't even know if he's back, but it is being stated that he's not feeling well, and meaning that his absence, there's still vacancy in the area of leadership in Nigeria. So all these are some of the reasons why people were asking about competence. Does he have the strength? Is he healthy enough? And all that. So let's move to the judiciary. There's a lot of things going on in our judiciary. Like you can see, this is the governor of Nasarawa State. He has been restored. This is an APC governor. Before now, the tribunal removed him and asked the PDP to take over. All of a sudden, the appeal court now has overturned the ruling of the tribunal, asking him to go back to his position as the governor. So that brings to question, the credibility of our judiciary. This topic has been on the public domain since yesterday, after it was discovered that the appeal court that delivered judgment on the Kano State governorship tussle made a very serious mistake when they upheld the governor. They intended to sack the governor only for them to give a written judgment that shows that the government has been his victory has been upheld. So there is this controversy out there, and people have been lambasting the judiciary on why such a mistake should even occur in the first instance. Do you know, after the delivery of this judgment, it took them like 4 days before these copies were issued, certified true copies. And after they've already issued out these copies, only for them to realize that they made such a big mistake, and they were now asking the lawyers to the governor to return the certified true copies to them for them to adjust. So Nigeria remains a drama scene. I mean, you see things that are unbelievable happening in this country. And you know what? Even when these things happened, the people are not punished. Nobody even rebuked them, even to caution them so that such thing does not happen again. We'll just forget it, and then it will become business as usual. So I'm going to be sharing with you this short video clip for you to listen to what Mr. Odinkalo is saying about the judiciary, because the rot in our judicial system is really, really huge, and we can't continue this way. So he made a statement on Twitter saying that the judiciary is crooked, as in he used that language. And even the interviewer was asking him, are you the one that said this? You didn't consider the implications and all that. But I tell you, the judiciary has really pushed Nigerians to the wall. This thing is becoming unbearable, as in looking at the way things are going in this nation. We were told when Mr. Peter Obi wrote a petition, there was another party that wrote against the sitting president, that the time he nominated his vice was wrong. And the court dismissed it, telling them that that is an a party affair. It's an internal party affair. So it has to be handled by the party. An external person doesn't have any right to come and start questioning the party as on why they elected the vice at that time. But now the same thing is happening somewhere and they are using it to remove somebody out of office. So sometimes once it's going to favor the APC, they will rule against that. Then when it's not going to favor the APC, they will tell you that this is what the constitution or the electoral act says. So sometimes our judges, they are not helping issues, and I believe it is just out of anger, being angry about what is happening in Nigeria, that this man made the kind of statement that he made. Let me allow you just take a look at this video, and honestly, you even want to agree with him going by what is happening in Nigeria. You wonder the kind of judges that we have
It's a bloody
today.
Scandal. And I'm actually scandalized that any lawyer, irrespective of the side they take in the case, cannot see that this scandalizes the judicial system.
And you tweeted today, you said, you were quoted rather to say Nigerian judiciary is crooked. Did you mean it, or they misquoted your remarks?
I was not misquoted. I absolutely said so, and I own it with my full chest.
But wouldn't that be a white brush to paint the entire judiciary black?
Look, I said, let me repeat myself. I said so, and I claim it with my full chest.
Even with the consequences that may thereafter abound.
Let me repeat myself. I said so.
What makes you think or say, believe so?
It's not a belief. No judiciary that is credible will produce this kind of judgment and certify it. And this is not coming from a customary court. It's not coming from an area court. It's not coming from a magistrate's court. It's not even coming from a high court. It's not coming from a customary court of appeal, nor a Sharia court of appeal. This is the Court of Appeal of Nigeria, the second highest court in the country. Any lawyer worth their onions should be scandalized by it, irrespective of whatever side you take. Because the country relies on credible adjudication in order to make progress, in order to sanitize society, in order to retain balance in our country. All right? Now, if we are producing judgments like this, and then asking the lawyers to come back so that they can be tipexed and corrected, how do you trust the judicial system? That is crookery. If a judge gives a disposition and comes to change it, and you're telling me not to say that they are crooked, you are not serious.
Wow. That is powerful, honestly. You need courage to say it as it is in Nigeria, where many people are afraid to speak up. Many are scared because, some people will tell you that this president does not forgive. If he wants to bite you, he will bite you without pity. So many people are like being afraid to come out to say things the way it is today in Nigeria. Look at before we come back to that, I just want to quickly show you this. See these two buses. I don't know if it's the same bus, but this person is saying that you won't believe that this is EFCC vehicle waiting to arrest the former CBN governor as soon as he leaves the court. This is somebody that has been granted bail, and then now he has been granted bail. For him to leave the court vicinity or the prison, they are already waiting to hand him over again to the EFCC. Anyway, that's just by the side, just for you to understand the kind of politicians that we have in Nigeria. If you step on their toe, for the fact that the Mefele did not release money during the election. He's paying for it now. He's paying hardly. He's, I don't know if you've seen him recently. You will not believe he's a Mefele. He has just transformed to something else, because he has to pay for not helping, quote unquote, the ruling people to gain access to money during the election. And though they've laid so many allegations, remember initially they said he had one small piece or so. Later they left that one and then came up with fresh charges. They will arrest you first before they start investigating on the kind of charges they want to hang on the person. Anyway, that is by the side. So coming back to Mr. Odinkalo, you could see him speaking up on what is happening in Nigeria today. All is not well. Nigerians, all is not well. All is not well. I mean, things have gone so bad. Things have gone so wrong in this country that there is no longer confidence in our judiciary. And I tell you, once we don't have confidence in our judiciary, just forget it. There was a country. There is no more a country. There was a country. Once we cannot have confidence, you could see this man boldly saying that the judiciary is crooked. And when he was asked why such a raw word, crooked, why such a raw, he said, for a judiciary, that there is no, respected judiciary that will give out such a judgment with such a mistake. It's not even other lower courts, like he talked about other smaller courts. No, it wasn't coming from this, coming from the appeal court, which is the second renowned court in Nigeria. So he's not like, it's no more, it's like, when you are being pushed to the world and you want to react, you react with all force. You will just lose your control. So that is what we are seeing today. And honestly, this current administration under the leadership or under the party of the APC, they just want to ensure they get all the states, and so as to position themselves for victory, no matter the kind of candidates they give to Nigeria again. Remember the time of Buhari, he didn't have his YX certificate at the time. He said he gave it to the military. The military said, we don't have it. He said he gave it. There was another body he said he gave it to. Those ones came out and said, we don't have it. And at the end of the day, all those things were were swept under the carpet. Now the APC still provided somebody without a certificate and all that. And then just for them to ensure they stand a higher chances of winning the next election, they are already like taking some, crucial moves, in case you don't know. For those of us that would think they don't know what they are doing, they know what they are doing. We have to also be vigilant, because this was how we saw INEC doing what it was doing, and people so much believed INEC. I mean, the INEC chairman. Some people came out at the dying minute and were, telling others, you people should not believe the INEC chairman. There is rumor that they are not going to use the beavers and the IREF. The INEC chairman quickly came out to debunk that information circulating. That don't believe those that says we are not going to use it. Don't believe them. We are committed to our words. We are going to do this. We are going to do that. It's going to be real time. You will see it live. It's going to happen from the polling. And Nigerians took it hook, line, and sinker. And what finally happened? And when they complained, they told them to go to court. And early morning, they've already announced results even before people woke up to prepare for their court proceedings. So that is Nigeria for you. I felt I should just share this with you guys, and just to keep you updated with some of the trending issues on the social media, and for us to also get informed, because we need all this information to also know what we are doing as citizens, because we must take back our country. We can't afford to leave it at the hands of people who do not really mean Nigeria well. Even if they claim they mean well for Nigeria, they don't have the capability, what it takes to move Nigeria from where it is now. The president is already of age. You don't blame him if he's not performed to a certain level, because he's of age. He believes in his team. But the people he worked with in those days in Lagos, in those days is not today. Many of them have not even embraced technology. They don't even know how to, how to manage today's world. It's different from those days. And they tell us that they have a team. They have an unbeatable team. So these are some of the things that are setting us back, because we were expecting, since he said he had strong team We're expecting them to have taken action, actions that by now Nigerians would have started seeing the effect of those actions, helping Nigeria to come out from some of the problems we have today. But we are like sinking deeper into more problems in Nigeria, especially with all these judgments coming from the judicial. People are losing interest in anything that has to do with Nigeria, losing interest, in political issues, losing interest in even news that has to do with how Nigeria is moving, because we know that the people we have there, we can't trust them. They tell you A in the morning, in the evening, it becomes a B. So that is where we are as a country. Thank you all for joining me in this live session. I really appreciate your presence, and God bless you. Let me just take some of the comments we have here. Even when he was here, there is still leadership gap. Okay, we don't have a president. My dear, what do you want me to say? After 100 days in office, we were told that the president and its vice, they are the most traveled uh, president in Nigeria. So you can imagine, even though we are struggling financially, the little we have, you could see how the governors are using it recklessly. Not to talk of, you can then imagine what will be happening in the executive. If at state level, they are using our funds like this. So you can imagine what is happening at the top. These people, they don't understand what the masses are going through. They don't. Congratulations on your Guinness World record recognition for being the worst president. I don't want to say the name is okay. I don't want to say that. Shameless, yeah. Well, this one is Yoruba. Everything about Tinubu is fake. God forbid. Honestly, Nigerians, this one is like entering one chance. We just pray for God to save us. Thank you, Professor Odinkalo. God bless you. Yes, he said it the way he is, because any patriotic Nigerian should really be sad, angry, shouldn't be happy with how things are happening in Nigeria, the way this current government is handling the affairs of the country. Nothing is happening, nothing is really happening. And you could see him reacting the way he's reacting because he's not enjoying what he's seeing. So, guys, thank you very much for joining me. God bless you. Please don't forget to like this video so that YouTube can recommend it for more people to watch. And also subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell for future updates. And do join us later with Dr. Tell in the night. God bless you. See you again. Bye.